Yo, what's up? It's Shokin, and today's video is a bit different as you can see. Today I am not playing video games. I decided to touch a little grass and get outside because it was a beautiful day. I filmed this with my Meta glasses, so please let me know if you guys prefer the regular gaming footage with the background of No Man's Sky, or if this is a good change of pace. Please let me know because I'm just trying something new here. But anyways, that's not why you're here. Let's talk about why you should stop debating it and take that sick day. Take that vacation, take that time off of work. My goal here is to try to rid you of the guilt you might be feeling over it. So hopefully I could tell you a little bit about my personal experience and my perspective as someone who is a workaholic, and maybe give you some valuable insight. So I just got back from my longest vacation ever. Like genuinely, it was the most time I've taken off in years and probably ever. 8 whole days. And I'm not gonna lie, man, the weeks leading up to my time off, it was hell. I was stressed about all the work I needed to finish before I left. I was worried about who was going to handle my projects while I was gone. I was checking Slack every 5 minutes, making sure nothing was falling apart. And in my head, I'm thinking these crazy things like, what if something goes wrong and I'm not there? Or worse, what if things go too right when I'm not there and they realize that they don't need me? Crazy. So I eventually left for vacation, and you know what happened? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. The company kept running, projects got done, emails got answered, all that good stuff. The world did not end. And I'm sitting here on the beach in the Bahamas feeling like an absolute idiot for spending so much mental energy worrying about a job that, turns out, functions perfectly fine without me. Well, maybe not perfectly fine, but you get what I mean. Nothing exploded. So I was over here hoarding all my vacation days and my sick days, getting all worked up and anxious about having to use them when the company needs me, just to remember that taking time off is not some kind of luxury or privilege we need to earn. We should not feel guilty for needing a break. And I know I'm not the only one that feels like this, because I read somewhere that almost half of all Americans don't use all of their paid time off. And even worse, when they do use their paid time off, they use it to catch up on sleep. How sad is that? No fun trip, no big event. You just get so run down that you want to sleep when you take the time off of work. Which I am all for, by the way. If you need to take some time off to have some rest, do it. Use every single day off you have, and if you want to use it to sleep, then go sleep. Just, ideally, we'd already be getting adequate sleep without having to take time off. That whole crazy concept of a work-life balance. But that is not the case for most of us. So that's why I'm here to tell you, from the most honest of places, that any company convincing you that you are too valuable to take time off is manipulating you. No company should be structured in a way where if one person takes leave for a week, aka you, the whole thing goes under. I know this sounds harsh, but I really need you to hear this. Your job is not that important. And I don't mean to be insulting to you or what you do. I mean it in the most liberating way possible. I work at a company where we pride ourselves on how much we work. Like, it's part of the culture. People flex about all-nighters. They brag about not taking vacations. It's like this unspoken competition of who could be the most dedicated, the most indispensable, the most willing to sacrifice their own life for the company. And I bought into that for so long. I would be the guy that when I hear someone complaining about working 60 hours a week, my mind automatically goes to, oh, that's it? Just 60 hours? I work more than that every single week, and I don't get weekends off. Like, that's something to brag about. Like, that's crazy. I've been seeing that buzzword float around lately, toxic productivity. I basically realized that I am the living manifestation of that. I always feel like I could be doing something. And if we want to get deep and dive into why, there's a couple reasons. And if I'm honest with myself and I hold up a mirror, one is that I have a fear of consequences. I'm always thinking that something bad is going to happen if I'm not being productive, or that one day I'll wake up and realize I wasted my life and I'm going to regret binge watching that Netflix show when I could have been learning a skill or making a YouTube video or whatever the case may be. It's anxiety. And although the rational part of me knows that I don't need to be doing something productive with every second of my day, sometimes that logic doesn't always win. And the second reason I could think of is, and this is a bit more of a sensitive topic, but it's kind of avoidance. You know, sometimes forcing yourself to be productive with work is easier than dealing with the other stuff in your life. Personally, sometimes I'll choose to do work over those more uncomfortable things. And I mean, I won't go into detail because this isn't really about me, but basically, we all have those things that we're trying to avoid. And sometimes it's easier to distract ourselves with work than it is to face those problems. And this all goes into why I can reason to myself that I should not take time off of work, or when I have free time, I'm always trying to work. And with these characteristics, anyone who is like me, it makes us the perfect people that a company can abuse and misuse. Because when they tell us how important our job is and they praise us, we believe them and we take it to heart because we love mattering. But it's time to kind of rip the band-aid off and let the reality flow. We greatly overestimate our importance because it makes us feel valuable. It makes us feel needed. It gives our work meaning, when the reality could be something as simple as they don't want you to take time off of work because your manager is too lazy to find someone to cover for you. But instead of saying that, these companies are going to just lie to you and say how important you are so you feel the need to stay. But companies are designed to function without you. God forbid you got hit by a bus tomorrow. Your company would figure it out. They'd redistribute the work. They'd hire someone new. They would move on. And I'm not saying this to be depressing. I'm saying this to free you from this delusion that you need to sacrifice your health and your happiness for a job that would replace you in a heartbeat if they needed to. And that's why we need to stop letting our jobs become our identity. I actually went to this young professionals mixer the other night, and the most interesting parts of every conversation I had wasn't what everyone did for work. It was everything else. I was actually talking to this dude in finance, and I couldn't tell you one thing about his job because it was finance. It was not interesting. It was math and numbers. But I could tell you what he did in his free time. You know, I know he wanted to live in New York. I know he likes to drive fast. And in a different life, he wanted to be a NASCAR driver. And I know that that is a weird example, but hopefully you understand my point. The job is secondary to his actual life as a human. His hobbies and dreams and everything that makes him him, that was entertaining to me and it helped us develop a connection. But jobs don't care about that. Most jobs care about productivity. They care about profit. They care about their bottom line. You are a resource to help them get those. When you are gone, they are just seeing an absence of work being done. So treat it like the transactional relationship that it is. If you have 10 vacation days, take 10 vacation days. It's only going to help you in the long run. Now, I know what a lot of you are thinking. That's great, Shokin, but my boss would never let me take time off. And look, I get it. Not everyone works at a place with reasonable management. I definitely understand that. So let me give you some actual tactical advice for dealing with this. First thing, you need to stop framing it as an ask. It's not a favor you're requesting, it's something you are entitled to if you're full-time. So when you talk to your boss, don't say things like, would it be okay if I maybe took a few days off? Say, I'm using my vacation days from this date to this date. Or if you have to request it in like an online software, say, hey, I've requested this time off in the software. Please let me know when you can approve it. Do you notice the difference? One sounds like you're asking for permission, and the other is like a more of a statement of fact. And if your boss wants to push back, then you need to come with the language that even makes HR nervous. You know, those types of things that make them say like, whoa, we better get this guy what he wants. We might be in some trouble. Say things like, the work environment hasn't been good for my mental health lately, and I need time off. And then keep a paper trail. Because to be honest, any smart employer isn't going to want to deal with the possibility of a legal situation. They're kind of forced to make it happen, even if they want to call your bluff. You get what I mean? It's just too much of a hassle, so you might as well be shameless about it. You deserve the time off, especially if it's written into your contract. And if I haven't convinced you yet, Let's say you're the type of person that needs more of a philosophical reason for taking time off. Don't worry, I got you on that too. The way I see it, the person I am when I am burnt out and ready for a vacation compared to the person I am when I am fresh off of a vacation are two very different people. Before a vacation, I am drained, I'm anxious, I'm stressed, I'm not doing good work because I'm completely burnt out, and it's almost like my spirit is different. And as a result, the people that come in contact with me, the people that are close to me in my personal life, it kind of rubs off on them. And in a sense, you are creating more of that negativity because you're just spreading it. It's contagious. You become this energy vampire. But on the other hand, the person I am after a vacation, I'm much lighter, I'm much happier, much more patient, much more joyous. The type of person who is happier to share good news than bad news. And that is also contagious. That rubs off on people. That attracts people. I become a positivity magnet. And to become that positivity magnet, the difference is that time off. The time you spent with yourself, recollecting yourself, and regenerating your spirit. That's how I truly feel. So if you need a philosophical reason for taking time off, there it is. I like to think of it as my spirit being my battery, and every night I don't get proper sleep and work is exhausting and I'm constantly just in this state of stress. That battery gets drained and drained and drained, and it doesn't get refilled until I get some time off. So please recharge that battery. Rest makes you better at your job. I came back from vacation this week and I am sharper than I've ever been. I'm more creative, I'm more patient, all because I gave my brain a chance to reset. Your body and mind need a break, and that is not being weak. You can't run on empty forever. Eventually, something's going to give, and usually it's your health, whether that's mental or physical or both. Don't be the person that runs themselves into the ground or misses out on life because they are too busy grinding at work. If you are debating taking time off of work or you're holding on to it for some emergency, just take the time off, man. Even if you can't take a full vacation, take the sick day when you need it, take the mental health day, take a long weekend, whatever you can, it is yours to take because your life is not your work. Your value as a person is not determined by how many hours you put in or how much you can produce. Please remember that. Despite whatever social media wants to tell you about your manhood, it is not tied to productivity. And if this video resonated with you, please do me a huge favor and drop a like and consider subscribing so I know to make more of these kinds of videos. But that's it for me. Thank you for listening, and I will see you in the next video. Shokin!